Hi everyone, welcome to Modern Genealogy, and today we are going to talk about the Ordinances Ready feature on FamilySearch. I get lots of questions about it, and so I thought I would do a little video about it. So first of all, what is the Ordinances Ready? And it is a tool that is used for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to find ancestors' names that they can take to the temple and to do their ordinances there, hence the name Ordinances Ready. And basically, FamilySearch scans through your tree to see if there's any ancestors that are ready to have their temple work done. Now, to get their temple work done, they need to have a date, either for birth, marriage, death, or christening, or burial, and a location for that same person. And I think for the same event also. So FamilySearch scans through your tree and they will pull up enough names for one session at the temple. So if you are doing baptisms, it will pull up 4 or 5 names for your gender. So if you're female, it will pull up 4 female names that you can then print off and take to the temple and get done there. If you're doing an endowment, it just shows you one name that you can take there. Sealings, I'm not sure how many it shows you. You'll just have to kind of play around with it and see what pulls up. So it chooses names in 4 steps. So the first list that will come up is names that you have personally reserved, that you have waiting in your temple ready list. Okay, so if you have some baptisms already there, those will be the names that show up. If you don't have any, then the next will be reservations for your relatives that have been shared with the temple by others. So maybe you have relatives that have shared those names with the temple to be ready. So those will show up next. The next ones that could be shown is ones that people that are related to you in your tree. So they'd start with closer related, who have the requested ordinances available. So if there's someone ready in your tree, they'll show up after those first 2 are not available. And then if you don't have any of those, then you'll just show up with ancestors or names that have been shared by other people to the temple system. So it's basically the same as if you just showed up at the temple to do work. It would be the same kind of names. Now I will just show you how to do it. I'll show you how to do it on FamilySearch on the computer. Now you can either do it on the computer or on the Family Tree app, but I'm going to show you on the computer just because it's a little easier to follow along. Okay, so here I am logged into FamilySearch, and to get to Ordinances Ready, if you click on Temple or just hover over Temple, and then you can go down to Ordinances Ready. And just choose the ordinance that you want to do. Say you want to do, let's do baptism, just to show you. So to do a baptism, so it will give you as many as you need for one session, which is, I think they'll give you about 4 or 5, and it will scan through. First it will go through your reserved, then ones that your family has shared, and then ones that are in your tree that are just ready to go, and then ones that are from the temple. So as you can see, I obviously don't have any easy ones, so there's 4 from the temple that are there. Another thing I needed to mention, it will eliminate ones who have duplicates, and it will eliminate ones who are not at least 110 years old, born 110 years ago. So those ones won't show up. So it does have some ability to weed out the ones that are obviously not ready. Found 4 people, so let's just view people, and you can just say take to the temple and then print them off. Or what I recommend is to kind of click through and take a look at them and see who they are, and see if you can learn anything more about them. Just makes going to the temple a little more meaningful if we know who these people are. Because really, right now, this is just the same as if I showed up at the temple. These are names that are shared from the temple system, and I don't know anything about them, so there's no connection that I've made with them. So let's just start with this Annie Dykeman, and it actually does turn out that she is somewhat related. Let's see. So she's the wife of my third cousin 3 times removed. So not very closely related, but she is in there. And so I think they do try to, I'm not sure how they do that, but to try to get people who are connected to you somehow. So if we just click on her, and you can look at her profile page and learn a little more about her. So we see that there's only one source attached. You can kind of click through and see what that is. It's in a census. Okay, already we see that not all the people have been attached in this record, so we can finish that off. We have her birth year and month in New Brunswick. I don't have her death date. I do have her spouse. So you can see there is some more information that maybe we could find out about her, but it's obviously up to you. The good, better, best that I'll explain at the end of the video. So then we can just go back. If you're wanting to just print them off and go, you just print them off and go. But then I lost them, so I needed to click again. But if you click again, I think the same 4 people will show up. Let's just look and make sure. Okay. Yeah, so they showed up. So then you can go through again and click on the next one and just take a look. If you want to cancel, cancel. I'm a little curious about the sealing one. So let's do sealing. Okay, so you can take 10 names at a time to be sealed to their parents. Okay, so I have 7 in my reservations and then 3. Yeah. Okay. Sealing to spouse, let's look at that. So that's 5. Okay. So that's good to know. So that's how many you can do in a day, I believe. So if you needed to do more than that many sealings, you would need to log it in someone else. Now, another thing is if you wanted to do, maybe you're going on a family temple trip and you want to have your kids do the baptisms and then you want to do the initiatory and the endowments later on the same people. So what you would need to do is you would need to look at their profile like I did and then reserve additional ordinances through there. So if I click on her again, so I can see here that they are reserved, but they're shared with the temple system. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can reserve those. You would probably have to find one that is not shared with the temple, but let's try and see what we could do. So if we click on ordinances, yeah, you can't do that unless you do it through Ordinances Ready. So you need to find someone else if you're wanting to do the same person. But maybe there's someone in your tree that shows up that they're just available and ready to do, then you would be able to reserve the initiatory and endowment as well. All right, now the next question that I get asked a lot is, do I recommend to use Ordinances Ready? And I do, but I also don't. And there's a couple of reasons. So I kind of relate it to good, better, and best. So is it good that people are getting on FamilySearch and using Ordinances Ready to find names that are their relatives to take to the temple? Yes, of course that's good. Is there something better that they could do? Yes, of course there is. And of course there's also best, but it's kind of like ministering. When we are ministering to our sisters, good is showing up. Good is sending them a text. Good is doing something, right? But there's always a best or a better that we can do. And as far as Ordinances Ready, good is just getting on there and doing it. That is good. But there is a better, which is, as I kind of explained in the video, that we can click on their name, learn some more about them, and just find out who they are, how we're related to them. Best would be to click on their profile and then to find out more about them. Verify relationships. See if there's sources attached. See if there's duplicates that don't just show up. So there always is a best. And I recommend to click on their profile, learn about them, and then add any information that you can. See if there's some record hints or things that you can clean up in their profile, and get that a little more cleaned up and presentable for doing work in the temple. But again, it is good to use and it's great to get people started. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and share it with your friends.